Hey guys, Marshall here from Limited Resources, and it's M14 o'clock. What have we? Well, we've got a bit of a conundrum here. We've got a Lifebane zombie, which is really sweet, but there's also a Doomblade in the pack, which is, well, also really sweet. Other cards that catch my eye, Clonian Tusker, Archaeomancer, even Sensory Deprivation, those type of cards have gone way up for me. But I am going to narrow it down to these two black cards, and I'm going to take one of them. I think I'm just going to take the Lifebane zombie. I think it's a really good threat, and it sometimes just nabs one of these guys or whatever out of your opponent's hand, and that's really good. I mean, Doomblade's obviously awesome, but... Ooh, immediately rewarded. Yeah, we'll take the best card in the pack. It's a Sengir Vampire. Whoever took a card out of this pack took an uncommon. Could have been a few different things. Flames of the Firebrand jumps to mind. There's quite a few. But Sengir Vampire is awesome. Not a lot of cards in this set that are better than a Sengir Vampire. So pretty happy to pick that one up, especially after picking a double black spell first. So we'll see where this goes. There's a few directions it can go. We can be black with something. I like blue, I like green to pair up with it. I also like red. And there's right on cue a really good red card. So yeah, let's take it. Let's take the Flames of the Firebrand, and we can be black-red with a lot of removal and some good threats here. What we're also looking for is a sacrifice sub-theme. So we're going to keep an eye on that as well. As far as if we end up staying on red-black, that deck's really good. That was one that I was wondering about early in the format, and it ended up being quite good, actually. Yeah, so normally I really like Rumbling Baloth, and I think it's the best card in the pack by a large margin, but there's only one red card, and it's Active Treason. It's kind of exactly what we're looking for, to be honest, so I'm going to take it here. We're cutting red pretty hard as well, which is generally a good thing, but also there's not a whole lot of red or black in that pack at all. If it wasn't for Act, I would have definitely just taken the Baloth. Been perfectly willing to bail on this Flames of the Firebrand. I mean, it's a really good card, but so what? Like, I have no problem moving into something else if we need to. Here's another Act of Treason. We're going to take it. So we have made a decided push into the direction that I just mentioned a minute ago, yet we don't have any sacrifice outlets yet. So those all of a sudden are going to go way up on our list. This pack is really bad. Dragon Hatchling, not a good card. I've had quite a few people think, oh, this card's fine. And I'm not saying it's completely unplayable, but I really don't like it. That said, this guy's not that great either. Oh, I just picked him kind of on accident. I was leaning towards him. Don't know that I would have actually taken him, but there he is. So we get a Flesh Pulper Giant. He's okay. He really is okay. He's a little better than he looks, but he's still not good. All right, so no sack outlet. Wild Guess we could play. Pyromancer's Gauntlet is our rare, but we're not going to play that. Tutor or Duress are both kind of, they're kind of equally bad, I'd say. Like, neither are very good. I think I'd rather have a Duress, though. Yeah. Just because that is something I can definitely see bringing in out of the sideboard. Where when it comes to the Tutor, like right now we certainly don't have anything that we really want to tutor for. And we don't really know that we'd even get to that point. So I'm actually just going to snap up a Naturalize here. Excuse me, a Millstone. We're not going to play any of these other cards. So, oops, I want that on the board. Thunderstrike or Minotaur Abomination. I really like Sensory Depth too. Yeah, I'll take the Minotaur though. It's playable. It's usually the biggest thing on the battlefield when you play it. Yeah, let's go big variants here. Cyclops Tyrant is really bad, I think. And Wild Ricochet, man, you can get people with that card sometimes. Now, whether we main deck it or not, I'm not sure, but it's going to start off there. I like the way we started with the Vampire, the Zombie, and the Active Treasons with the Flames, but it's really kind of fallen off from there. So we're going to have to hope that the second pack hooks us up. I don't think that the third pack's going to be that great for us. So a lot of pressure on the second pack. Yeah, Celestial Flare. Oops, move that to the board. None of these really matter. Alright. So now we're looking for sacrifice outlets along with just normal good cards like we want. Good threats like Sengir Vampire and Zombie, good removal like Flames, and cards like that. Ooh. Yes. On Color Bomb, I will take you. Good cards in this pack for us, though. There's a Nightwing Shade and Acton and Young Pyromancer. Young Pyromancer is really good. But, yeah, Siobhan Dragon, I choose you. So another good threat for us and another good high-end card. Still don't really have a great way to use those, especially abuse, but even just to use those active treasons, and that's definitely starting to... we really got to keep an eye on that. No sack outlets here. Nothing really amazing. I mean, Corrupt we could play, but we're looking kind of heavy red, so it's like not as good. We certainly just run a Corpse Hauler or Mark of the Vampire. Goblin Shortcutter's kind of whatever. Mind Rot's fine. Corrupt's probably the best card out of our choices, but it's really not that great in our deck. It's probably going to be only for 2 or 3. Makes it not awful, but not great either. Might still take it, though, because this guy could easily end up in the board. Same with this Ricochet, and then we're not nearly as much, so yeah, I'll take it. Alright, well, it's pretty unexciting, but there is a Vampire Warlord here, which is a sacrifice outlet, and frankly, we just need to pick up any that we can at this point. Like, getting a little worried here. I want to make sure those acts are good. Ring of Three Wishes is just too slow, even in this format, to be, a high pick, or even really to make the deck. I mean, I'm not saying you never ever do, but it's pretty rare. You don't play against or with this very often. Another Minotaur Abomination. I mean, the card I really like out of this pack is Root Wall, but yeah, that ship has sailed, so let's take the sack outlet. Yeah, there's a Shock and a Nightwing Shade. I feel like I just want the Shock here. I think we're doing okay on threats. Yeah, there's a Deathgaze Cockatrice. I like that card a lot. I think I like it a little better than Shade here. We'll take it. Okay, a Child of Night or a Festering Newt. I guess I'll just take the Child of Night here. Neither are really what we want. I'll take this Dragon Egg, though. I'm still hoping to pick up something along the lines of a sack outlet. I mean, I'd like to have 3 or 4, but man, if I can get to 2 or 3, I can still run these acts and not feel embarrassed. All right. Picked up a barrage of expendables. I mean, there's a Mark of the Vampire and a Firecat, which are both better cards in a vacuum, but we need these. This is a key card for us, so really happy to pick it up. I'll grab a Smelt. Oops, but probably won't be playing it. All right. Slowly coming together. Power level's pretty decent. Synergy's not, but hopefully we'll get there. I mean, there's still another pack to go here. Just haven't really seen the sack outlets around. They do get picked up if somebody else is in a similar deck, but Tyrant, Mind Rot, Elixir. I'm just going to go with Mind Rot here. Might even make the cut. And I'm going to move this one to the board. If we start 1, I'd be kind of surprised. Starting 2 seems really unlikely. I'd be very sad if that happened. I was really hoping that this second pack would go better than it has, though, to be honest. All right. So we got a dragon. Not a whole heck of a lot else out of that pack. I mean, we got a few things, but definitely not flowing color-wise here. So let's see if we can pick up a 9 zombie or Blood Baron or something like that. Help trying to get up to playables and make those active treasons better. Make our Dragon Egg better too. Yep, still not to be on that front, but we did pick up a couple of nice options here with a Geyser or a Young Pyromancer. I'm definitely not going to pick up my third Act here. We're just too low on sack outlets to make running 3 Acts seem good. I mean, it puts a lot of pressure on the rest of this pack. So the question is Pyromancer or Volcanic Geyser, and I like Young Pyromancer actually. I think Volcanic Geyser, I haven't really figured out why. It should be good in this format, but it's just not that great. It's fine. Like, you play it, you take it pretty early, but it just, for some reason, it doesn't seem to have that same punch that it used to, even though this format's really slow. I haven't figured out why. It should be really good. I mean, again, I'm not saying it's bad, but it doesn't jump off the page like some cards, some removal spells do. All right, whole bunch of nothing here. I mean, there's a Tenacious Dead, but without the Baron, it gets a lot worse. Probably just going to pick up this Mark of the Vampire. I really don't need a Blur Sliver, and Ring Flesh is just okay. So I'm just going to take the most powerful kind of upside card there. That can help get us back into situations that we were bad off in. All right, decision time. Bubbling Cauldron or Chandra's Outrage. I mean, Chandra's Outrage is obviously just like a way better card in general, but Cauldron's pretty decent. It is a sack outlet that we want. It's not a great one. You know, something like a 9 zombie is so much better because it can block early creatures and even attack a little, and it helps kill your opponent. This doesn't do any of those things. It does help keep you alive though, which is pretty nice. And of course, it makes your active treasons a lot better. But Chandra's Outrage is fantastic. I'm going to take the Outrage here. I'm just going to hope to find something else. And we kind of did. There's another Vampire Warlord, and I could certainly run it. It's not even that bad. It's a decent creature. There's a Festering Newt in case we get lucky and wheel that Cauldron, though. I'm not really planning on that. Yeah, I'm going to take the Warlord here. Ooh, this is a nice pickup. Marauding Maulhorn, fairly late here. That's a really nice pickup for the deck. A great threat. All right. Picked up a Blood Baron. That's a great pickup for the deck. Now, Shiv's Embrace would be okay, but I've already got a Mark of the Vampire, and even though Shiv's Embrace tends to kill a lot faster, I like Mark a little better because it still makes the creature incredibly tough to deal with in combat, and also it helps dig you back out of situations that you were behind on. Sometimes Shiv's Embrace just isn't quite enough, and this seems to do plenty of work on offense as well. Yeah, so Blood Baron easy. None of these are great. I just don't know that I want 2 Mark of the Vampires in our 13 creature deck. That seems really pretty poor. So that means I'm just going to cut something. And I guess I'll just cut this wall since it's kind of good versus us. Sure. Okay, well, wheeled that one. So, I mean, we're going to run it. We have 4 sack outlets. We've got 2 Warlords, the Blood Baron, and the Barrage. And we're going to do it. I mean, we are definitely attempting to be this deck. So let's be this deck. I think I can cut Wild Ricochet and a Minotaur Abomination and run 18 lands, or I can stick to 17 if I want. Guess I'll cut this Shrivel. I'll put it in my board, of course. Oh, wow. This is going to be interesting. We're going to be very low on creatures, I think, by the end of this thing. Huh. Yeah, this is really interesting now. End up with 4 active treasons and 4 sacrifice outlets. It does put a lot of pressure on our deck to really come through with those sacrifice outlets, but man, we have some really powerful plays we can make if we do. Deck ends up being pretty controlling like this. Oops, I don't want this duress. Probably just this guy. Something huge. Oh. That's what happened. Okay, you get back in there. You get out. And there's our deck. Giant Lava Axe. Ricochet is possible, but probably not going to make the cut. Dress Shrivels. These aren't main deck cards, and the rest aren't in our colors. I like running 18 lands with something like this, though. I mean, in order to do some of the active treason shenanigans, you do need extra lands. We've also got plenty of stuff to do up top here, though. Now that I look, we don't actually have any real mana sinks. We don't really have anywhere to dump our mana. Like, this thing doesn't cost any... not this thing. This guy doesn't cost any money to... any mana to regenerate. Maybe I don't actually want that. Maybe I do just want another big fatty here. I wish I had a 9 zombie. That would have been so much better. I could also just run the Wild Ricochet and we can try to get somebody, but my general stance on it is that I leave it in the sideboard, and then when we see a couple of really good targets, like somebody blasts off an opportunity or something along those lines, then we'll board in the Ricochet and try to get them. Also, if they just have a lot of spot removal, that kind of thing. Card's really, really powerful, but it's extremely conditional and reactive, and it's not easy to make that card really good, and I feel like you're taking on a little bit more risk than I think you should if you just main deck it and just hope that they have, you know, something awesome, because you do need to leave up all that mana, and that can get pretty bad. So I think I'll run this guy and just go 17 lands here. So what do we want? Well, these are all later. We're going to be heavy black. I think we're going to be 9/8 for black, actually, even though we have more red. Yeah, 9/8 for black. Yeah, that's what this says too. All right, let's see what this thing can do.